Hope on the Stage, final in Seoul, was supposed to be the grand wrap-up, the big finish, the victory lap. Yet, for those who were lucky enough to witness it, either in person or through trembling live streams, it felt like the beginning of something much deeper. And when Jungkook and Jin appeared together on stage, for the first time after their military discharge, something electric shifted in the air. Could you feel it? The spotlight first caught Jin, his figure tall, composed, yet glistening with a kind of anxious energy. The roar from the crowd was deafening, but there was something in his eyes, something unreadable, nostalgic, even fragile. Then, Jungkook. Younger, leaner, but with a new aura. A quiet strength. The way his hand reached out to Jin before even speaking a word told a story no lyric could. But here's what shocked everyone. Jin wasn't scheduled to appear at that very moment. According to official reports, his set was later. So, why did he walk out just as Jungkook was preparing to sing the song that he wrote during his time in the military? Was it planned? A surprise? Or something more spontaneous, something driven by emotion that couldn't wait. As the crowd went wild, the camera zoomed in, and fans caught something astonishing. Jin leaned in, and the mic didn't pick it up, but lip readers and fan cams later revealed it. "I missed you, little brother." Just 5 words. But 5 words that sent armies into an emotional freefall. Jungkook, visibly holding back tears, looked away for a moment, then turned back with a smile and embraced Jin in front of the world. What happened next? You'll want to sit down for this. Their duet. Yes, a duet that wasn't in the program, wasn't hinted at, and wasn't on any official rehearsal set list. Jin and Jungkook launched into a stripped-down version of Epiphany, followed seamlessly by a slowed-down, heart-wrenching version of Still With You. 2 eras colliding. 2 voices, once separated by duty and distance, reunited in perfect harmony. People were sobbing in the crowd. Staff members behind the stage were seen wiping away tears. Even J-Hope himself, the host of the day, stood frozen, jaw slightly parted, as if realizing he was witnessing history, unplanned, unscripted, unforgettable. But it wasn't just the duet that shook the world. When Jungkook stepped forward to speak after their performance, his hands trembled slightly as he clutched the mic. His voice cracked, not out of weakness, but out of something deeper. He spoke directly to the fans, but his eyes never left Jin for more than a second. "I don't know how to explain this moment," he said. "I spent the last year wondering how it would feel to stand here again. But I never thought he would stand beside me today. This was the moment I dreamed of." And then Jin did something no one expected. He pulled something out of his jacket pocket, a small, handwritten letter. Yes, an actual letter. The stage lights softened as he read, "To my brother Jungkook. I watched you grow from a boy with dreams into a man who carries the weight of all of us. I'm proud of you. And today, standing beside you, I felt like I came home." Cue the screams. Cue the collective gasp across the arena and around the world. Was this the moment that redefined their bond forever? Was this spontaneous? Or something they planned quietly while in military dorms, never hinting it to even the closest staff? The answers remain a mystery, but the emotions? They're real, raw, and still echoing through every corner of ARMY fandom today. So what else happened at Hope on the Stage? Final in Seoul that day. The surprises were just beginning. Just when the atmosphere had settled from the emotional bombshell of Jin and Jungkook's unexpected duet, another surprise twisted the flow of the day in a way no one saw coming. Cameras were rolling, armies were still wiping away tears, and confetti from their performance lingered in the air like echoes of memories, when suddenly, Jungkook stepped back from the stage lights and disappeared behind the curtain. No explanation. No que. Just silence. Fans watching live were confused. Was it part of the act? Was he changing outfits for the next set? But those in the arena knew this was not scripted. This was something real. Something urgent. For nearly 4 full minutes, the screen went dark. The band held a quiet instrumental. The hosts whispered off script. J-Hope and RM exchanged glances before RM walked up to the mic and gently said, "We're going to take a short moment. Please stay with us." And then, the whispers began. Someone backstage had seen Jungkook walk into a corner, crouch down, and cover his face with his hands. The usually composed Golden Magne was, by all eyewitness accounts, crying. Not the tearful smile we've come to know from his touching encore speeches. This was full-on emotional release. And the reason? Jin, what fans didn't know, not yet at least, was that Jungkook had been holding something back the entire day. That reunion? That performance? It wasn't just surprising to the audience. It was a shock to him too. According to a source close to the production crew, Jin's decision to join Jungkook for that special moment had been a last-minute emotional call. While J-Hope knew about the possibility and had quietly approved it, Jungkook was intentionally left in the dark, not to deceive him, but to give him the most genuine moment possible. And when it hit hard. After nearly 2 years in military service, Jungkook had grown used to silence, discipline, solitude. He often journaled at night in the barracks, pouring his feelings into melodies he hadn't yet shared. Many of those songs had one person in common, Jin. The eldest Hyung had always been his emotional anchor, the brother who offered quiet support without needing to say much. Losing that daily presence had left a scar. Seeing Jin suddenly, singing beside him with so much love, brought all those hidden memories to the surface. S.O. he broke. I and the shadows backstage. Jungkook took a breath. He asked the crew for just a minute.
No cameras.
No pressure.
Just a moment to feel human again.
Jin, already off stage, heard what happened. And without hesitation, he came to him again. Not as BTS's eldest, not as worldwide handsome, but simply as Seokjin Hyung. Multiple crew members witnessed it. Jin sitting beside Jungkook, holding his hand, saying softly, "It's okay to feel it all. That means your heart still remembers." That phrase alone shattered something in everyone who heard it. After several minutes, Jungkook stood up, wiped his eyes, looked in the mirror, and smiled, not for the cameras, but for himself. Then he said 5 words that gave the crew chills. "Let's finish this with fire." And oh, did he deliver. When Jungkook returned to the stage, it wasn't with sadness. It was with power, energy, a new resolve. His next performance, Standing Next to You, took on a completely different tone. No longer just a song.
It was a statement.
A thank you. A promise. With every beat, he danced like his life depended on it. With every lyric, he poured out everything he couldn't say aloud. And when he looked at the crowd, his eyes weren't just performing. They were reaching. Grateful. Fierce. Alive. Even a crowd could feel the shift. It was as if everyone stood together in shared emotional catharsis, mourning what was lost, celebrating what had returned, and holding tight to what had been reborn. But here's what no one expected: Jin didn't return to the dressing room after that. He quietly made his way to the sound booth and stayed there for the remainder of Jungkook's set, watching, smiling, holding his hand over his heart. He didn't need to be on stage anymore, because sometimes being there, truly there, is more powerful than anything the spotlight can offer. And as the sun continued shining on that Seoul afternoon, one thing was clear. This wasn't just a concert. It was a reunion of hearts. A quiet homecoming. A message to ARMY that even after all this time, the bond remains unbroken. But just when everyone thought the day had peaked emotionally, something even more unexpected was waiting at the end of the final encore. Just when the performance energy seemed to reach its limit, and fans believed all the surprises had been unveiled, there was one final scene that unfolded quietly, almost too quietly.
No loud fanfare. No spotlight. No announcement.
But it was this small, personal moment between Jungkook and Jin, caught only by a few sharp-eyed fans and backstage crew, that would become one of the most talked-about mysteries of the entire Hope on the Stage. Final in Seoul day. After Jungkook's explosive and emotionally charged performance of Standing Next to You, the stage began to dim. RM and J-Hope came back on stage to thank the fans, showering them with heartfelt words. Jin, still watching from the sound booth, had already begun making his way back toward the dressing area. But before he exited fully, a staff member placed something in his hands, a small, square black box wrapped with a silver ribbon. And what happened next is what made armies across the world start asking, what exactly was in that box? Why did Jungkook freeze when he opened it? And why did Jin look away, as if trying not to cry? The exchange was not scripted. In fact, it happened just out of view from the stage. Only a few fans near the far left wing caught it and uploaded grainy but powerful footage online. Jin waited patiently, holding the box with both hands like it carried something sacred. As Jungkook stepped off stage, still buzzing with adrenaline, he was greeted not with cheers but with silence and Jin. "Take it," Jin said gently. "Don't open it yet. Not until the lights are off." But Jungkook, curious and emotionally overwhelmed, sat down near the stairs behind the curtain and carefully untied the ribbon. What was inside wasn't flashy, not expensive, but it was devastatingly personal. Inside the box was a neatly folded letter, handwritten, with slight smudges on the edge, likely from Jin's own hand. On top of the letter was a small, round item. It was Jin's dog tag, the exact one he wore during his first day in the military. But it wasn't just that. Behind it was a photo that only the two of them could understand. The photo, now circulating widely online thanks to fans who caught a glimpse before security gently moved cameras away, showed Jungkook and Jin in a rare, quiet moment, taken years ago in their dorms. Jungkook was asleep on Jin's shoulder, a book in his lap. Jin, unaware the photo was being taken, had his hand protectively resting on Jungkook's head. The letter beneath it, never publicly shared but reportedly seen by a close staff member, read in part, "This is the part of me I gave away when I went in. I wore this every day, through every cold morning, every march, every lonely night. But the only thing that kept me going was the thought of handing it to you when it was over. I didn't have to protect you anymore. Now, you protect yourself. You've grown. You're free. And I'm proud." Jungkook didn't say a word after reading it. He simply closed the box, hugged it to his chest, and buried his face into Jin's shoulder. There were no cameras, no choreography, no cheering fans in this moment. Just two brothers, finally reunited, letting go of everything they'd been holding in for years. And when they broke from that hug, Jin said something else, quiet but clear. "You carried our legacy through the silence. Now, let me carry you through the noise." That quote would later become a trending hashtag on Twitter, TikTok, and every ARMY fan forum. Hashtag through the noise. Not just a phrase, but a feeling. From that point on, everything felt different. As Jungkook rejoined the rest of BTS for the closing words, the glow in his eyes had changed. Lighter, brighter. He wasn't just performing anymore. He was healing, and fans noticed one more subtle but powerful gesture. At the very end, as all the BTS members bowed and waved goodbye, Jungkook reached into his pocket and quietly touched something. Not a mic, not a phone, but the dog tag. He didn't show it. He didn't need to, because that day, that gift, wasn't about showing. It was about knowing that after years of chaos, distance, training, and waiting, they were home again. And while the lights of the Seoul stadium dimmed slowly, and fans held on to their final chants with teary voices, the words that echoed in everyone's hearts were simple and unforgettable. Now you carry it. But the real question still remains, was Jungkook the only one who received a gift that day? Or was someone else silently preparing something even bigger?